Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our second season of GRAFFTV. We're kicking off the new year with a brand new interview. Our guest for today is a superstar with over 30 years in the game, a daredevil from the West Coast who's become a notorious Los Angeles legend, a certified all-star, an MVP, and a no doubt Hall of Famer. Ladies and gentlemen, a life coach and motivational speaker, the California assassin, the one and only SUFER MTA. Yeah, man. Hey, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing beautiful, bro.
It's great to finally have you in the studio.
I appreciate you guys, and I appreciate what you guys are doing as well.
Awesome, man. First, I'd like to begin with your crews. Can you please list them all for our audience?
MTA, CA, ICP are the three crews that I rep.
Nice, man. Great. Now, I'd like to begin from the very, very beginning. You were born in Redwood City, California, correct?
That is correct.
What do you remember about Redwood City?
NorCal, that was just the hospital I was born at, but then I lived in Sunnyvale, and I went to first kindergarten, first and first grade. I went to school in Menlo Park. That's just where my dad's side of the family stays, and that was it. That's pretty much it. Like I lived in the Bay until I was like 6, and then we bounced or whatever. But yeah, the early years of that was just NorCal, San Francisco 49ers, Jerry Rice, Joe Montana.
What were your parents like growing up as a kid? Can you describe them for us?
Shit, mom and dad were cool as fuck when I was, super young like that. Like, just like anybody else's normal family and shit. School bus drivers. My mom was a school bus driver. Dad was a school bus driver. My mom actually got my dad the job, and then my dad retired from there. My mom was a school bus driver for pretty much her whole life, and shit was cool, until and then just like probably most people, fucking shit don't work out between people, and divorces happen and all that shit.
Would you know how they met?
I don't know how they met, to be honest with you. Like, I know different times and shit, but I know back then, like, once my mom got pregnant and shit, my dad was like, he wasn't too hyped. This is how it was back then and shit. So there was like a big battle between them two or whatever. But then they kept it together till I was almost, like I said, like maybe 7 or 8.
Do you come from a big family?
I have a half brother who's older than me, and I learned a lot. We didn't grow up together. Like, we did grow up together, but he never lived with me. He lived with his dad. My mom had my mom's been married a gang of times. So her first husband before me, that's where my half brother came in, and he lived with him, and then I just stayed. It was just me and my mom throughout the whole journey.
What type of kid were you? Rebellious, quiet, a thrill seeker?
As a kid, I was just really shy, really soft. I was like a mama's boy. Like, I think just going through the shit that I went through as a kid with the parents splitting up and shit, it just made me more standoffish and more hesitant to be more open to people when I was younger. So I would just kind of, just be in the cut. And then once I got warmed up to like friends or whatever, then I would open up and we would be cool. But my original, like if people were like, oh, what was, stuff as a kid, I was very shy and just very soft.
How long does the family live in Redwood City?
NorCal till I was like, I think we bounced when I was like 7. And that's when we left. My mom and dad split. And then we stuck around like for the divorce and shit, I think, to get finalized and all that shit. Like, and then we bounced. My mom met some other dude who ended up becoming my stepdad. And then we moved. We got the hell out of California. We were out.
While in Redwood City, you've mentioned that some of the first art you saw as a kid was on your brother's skate deck.
Yes.
And on clothing such as Gotcha and Jimmy Z.
Yes.
Can you talk about those early graffiti?
I was like, so for those that don't know, like the area where my brother stayed at in Menlo, like it's nice, right? So my brother always had dope shit. For some reason, he always fucked with Nordstrom's. He always had the dope brands. And me being younger, I just emulated that and looked up to that. So I was that kid that was just looking at my older brother when I would hang out with them and just be like, oh, I need to have Gotcha shorts. I could only rock Vans. And my Vans have to be from Nordstrom's. They can't be from nowhere else. All that type of shit. He got a flat top. I needed to get a flat top. So it's just like, just having an older brother and being able to look up to him. And he was always styling. So I got a lot of my, I don't even know what you call it, but I just remember always being little and just looking up to even people that were like my brother that had style, or that, you know, I was fucking 7, 8 years old and I'd look up to these older cats and be like, not even knowing that it was called style or fashion or anything. I was just like into like, oh, that foot looked dope. Like, you know, he's styling. Like, and then as I got older, I, you know, transitioned to understanding what that meant.